Okay, hello. Sorry for the delay. They left us, and we don't know what we're doing with the computer and the recording. We got it figured out, and we hope this all works out today.
Yes, we're capable people. We know what we're doing. Technology.
We learn by doing, and this is the first time we've had to do.
Without Rob, without our fearless what is this?
Producer?
Producer,
Right.
yes. He's our lead producer on the show.
Social truth producer.
Social truth producer.
That's what he is.
But yeah, you've got Mike and I today, and we've got a really hot topic for you that we've quite hot. We've had a lot of clients and other people in general really come to us and have some questions about. So
it's blogging.
Blogging.
And companies are hesitant to blog, and bloggers get frustrated with blogging because you can only talk about one topic or your business or whatever you're blogging about so much.
Right. People are overthinking the blog.
So we are bringing you new ideas to blog about, or strategies for blogging, or different types of blogging, if you will, that you can do to mix it up a little bit to make you more interesting, or Pinteresting.
Pinteresting, yes.
And to kind of just keep things moving. Don't get stuck.
Right. So Mike, what would you say the main purpose of a blog is?
It's basically it's become a resource for, I'd say, your fans or customers.
Yep.
Anybody that wants to follow you, even if they're not buying from you, your loyal fanship or following, to kind of provide them with information that's relevant and interesting.
And interesting. I agree 100%. People don't want to just come to your website and read about your products, but they want to read about your industry, the worlds you work in, who you are. It's kind of the voice of your company to keep updating, maybe a couple times a week or once a week, something to kind of keep your company interesting and relevant and to keep people coming back. So
it lets them know that you're paying attention to the world instead of just yourself.
Right.
Which is important.
We don't like to be selfish.
No.
So yeah, we're going to give you some different ideas of what can you put into your blog. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, I can only write about my products, or I can only write about this service that my business offers. That's not true at all.
It doesn't even have to really do with your product. The point of the blog is to get people to come interact with you and read your content. And, while they're there, maybe they'll look at your website. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll follow you on Twitter. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll find you on Facebook. Maybe they won't, but they're there and they're reading, and you want them to be engaged.
And the main purpose is to offer value. You want to give your readers some sort of value that they're going to come away with saying, wow, that was actually helpful. I appreciate it. So, so one of the main things that a lot of bloggers will do, or a lot of blogs, is they will offer some sort of list in their blog. So this could be the top 10 ways to do something, or, the best or worst of something.
Yeah, it could be like the 20 biggest mistakes Mike makes when he talks.
Right.
Or something like that.
Might want to go with 30, but it's okay. But yes, this is quite a popular one, and it's really a great way to add value. And you can also talk a little bit about, your industry and some of the main questions that your customers may have about your product or your service.
Yeah, basically, people are attracted to numbers, and actually research shows prime numbers, or odd numbers at least.
Yes.
So you can make it 9, or you can even do fractions and do like 7 3/4 reasons why, fill in the blank. So keep that in mind. People know that when there's a list, they know what to expect, how much of the time they're going to commit, and it makes it easy for you because you just have to think of, okay, got it, done.
Yep, and the other thing you want to keep in mind when doing lists is try to keep them short. They don't really want to come to your blog and have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So you want to keep it semi-short, or also very appealing to the eye. So if you just have paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, people do not want to read that, especially online.
Especially me. People
especially
like me
Mike.
who are in a hurry. You want me to sit and read, I've got to have something to take my eyes off of while I'm looking at it. And most people are that way. So definitely add pictures or video.
And bullet points are very important.
Right. You can use your words to actually be more visually appealing. There's different styles of fonts, like your different headings and things like that you can use to kind of arrange even just your text in a more visually appealing way.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing you can do for blogging, personal experiences. It's a great way to show, maybe you have... I don't know, Mike, can you example?
Well, so if you're writing your company's blog, everybody's reading it and they're thinking, oh, I'm reading this company's blog, but they're not thinking about the person behind it. When you share personal experiences, it helps people relate to you as a person on a person-to-person basis. So they think of your brand or your company as the person next door or one of their friends they know or something like that. And those stories help relate to your life and kind of gives them an example of how to interact or different things to be looking for in the industry or in life in general. So it really just kind of helps build that personal connection.
Right, and I would say as well, if you have a couple of different people who might want to add a voice to the blog, that could be a great way to add some variety. Have a couple different people in your office doing a blog, once a week or something like that. I mean, I know on our own One Social Media blog, we all take turns adding a blog. We have our own voices, our own style of writing, our own types of topics, and some of them can be personal experiences where maybe I've run into a certain issue with social media or found something new with social media that I want to share with everyone. And a lot of people will really want to learn and listen from the things that you've done, especially as an expert in your industry.
Mm-hmm. It's about the person sometimes, not necessarily just about the business. Keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Another thing you could potentially write about, reactions and opinions are pretty big. So if there's something going on in the news that has directly relates to your industry, and you want to say something about it, the blog is the perfect place to come out and voice your opinion. It doesn't need to be, super controversial unless you want it to be. That's great. Take a strong opinion. That's going to get readership and really help to up your views on the blog. But just at least having a reaction to it will really let your customers know you're staying on track with what's happening.
Right. That's the big difference between, say, blogging and then an actual publication, because journalism, you're supposed to be non-biased.
Right.
And kind of write from an objective point of view, whereas your blog, you can be as biased as you dang well
it's
please.
Your blog.
Yeah, you can be mad about something, you can be ecstatic about something, write it out, and that, like I said, even before, that's another one of those personal connections you make with the readers.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's, like we said, it's your company, it's your business. If you have a stance on something, make it known, and make it known to your readers so that they, they're very clear on it. So it's,
and they can kind of use your input to formulate their own ideas too. Ask them for ideas at the end of your blog. Say, this is just, let them know that these are just my personal opinions or my thoughts. I want to hear yours. So that's a great way to start engagement up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too, if you are having multiple bloggers, sometimes if a blogger wants to take a stand on a certain issue, but it might not be the company's official stand, you want to make sure that blogger is making that known, that this is my opinion and not the opinion of the company. I know a lot of people who will tweet for companies will have to make that known as well as, this tweet or this blog is my reaction, not an official reaction from the company. So just always keep that in mind.
It's kind of like if Rob were to tell everybody how much he hated frosting and say our whole company hated frosting, we would be really upset because most of us love frosting.
I like frosting.
It's just a weird thing.
It happens.
Weird thing about Rob. All right, moving on.
Moving on. Another way to add some great variety to your blog, because you know what? People aren't going to want to read all the time.
Hate reading.
As much as your content might be super valuable and awesome, some people see words, like Mike, and they run. So sometimes it's a good idea to add more of a visual appeal to your blog. Maybe a paragraph, and then put a video in.
Yep. Actually, there's a new series out from the TED Talks called TED Ed. And they do a lot of these shorter videos that are essentially lessons. They're super interesting. They're animated, kind of visual. You don't have to go all out and animate them or do anything fancy, but sometimes it's nice to be able to hit play and then keep working while you're listening, or even watch somebody explain something, and maybe they do use some examples. I always love when I see a video on a blog. It's a couple sentences. All you have to do is explain what the video is about, why it's relevant, or why you picked it out, and say, enjoy. And the person can just click the play button, and then they'll stay on your blog just as long as it would probably take them to read a normal blog post.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And so different types of videos, like we said, there's great educational videos out there, maybe about your industry or, just certain things related to your type of business. Also, if you have your own videos, maybe you have testimonials about your company that you want to showcase on there. The blog's absolutely a great place to do that. If there's inspirational videos that you found, maybe they're just 30-second clips or something like that are on YouTube, and you just think they're really great and your customer base would enjoy it. Also, don't be afraid to have fun. Yeah. If you find a really fun video out there that you just want to share for your company, go ahead and share it. People will enjoy that so much more. I mean, in your couple sentences, just sort of say this is just a fun video for the day, or maybe it does somehow relate to your business, but please don't be afraid to show a fun video. Your readers will really enjoy it.
Yep, they'll appreciate it, and everybody enjoys a good laugh. So don't ever be afraid to have fun. Poke a joke, put a comic in there, put a video, anything like that. Yeah. Everybody loves fun. If you don't love fun, then you're by definition a fun hater. So
ooh, you don't want to be a fun hater.
Don't want to be a fun hater.
Not so good. The last type of variety that we suggest you can add to your blog are a little thing called infographics.
Love them. So there's all this great information that you can absorb from it, and it's laid out in a very visually pleasing, almost animated, comic, cartoony type way. Some of the stats are kind of numbered out so you can see how relevant they are in proportion. So instead of looking at the number 63%, you see 63 people shaded in out of 100 or things like that.
Yep.
There's a ton of these things out on almost any topic you can think of. If you go to visual.ly, Visualese, but with the dot in between, it's actually a really great database for finding these different things. I'm sure they have something relevant in your industry.
Right, and like you said, it's super easy. Go into Google and search, business infographics, or maybe you work in the restaurant business, so restaurant infographics, and it's really just information in a graphic. And so we are real advocates of the fact that the online world is turning very visual with Pinterest, with YouTube videos, with Facebook timeline. Everyone is moving into a very much more visual mode. And so, use as many visuals as you can on your blog, and you want to still add value, infographics are the way to go for that for your industry.
Yep, current information, facts that people might not know, and it's all laid out in a way that takes people's mind off things, which is essentially what they're doing when they come to your blog anyway. Maybe it's a different topic, but it's not what they're normally working on. So they're taking their mind off that and getting new information at the same time, which is ideal, I would say.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, those are just some suggestions we have. If you have any more suggestions about how you like to add variety to your blog, come join the discussion on Facebook, facebook.com/onesocialmedia, or
tweet at us at onesocialmedia.
Yep. Or, head on over to our blog and see some examples of the different stuff that we talk about. We have everyone shares different blogs on different days, and so kind of get a feel for what our business does when it comes to blogging.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks.